The Land Cruiser model appeared in the 50s of the 20th century. For a long time it was considered a simple, working machine. Later, the luxury station wagon series appeared, which received powerful power units. Only with the arrival of the Land Cruiser 70 did the SUV become more suitable for daily use. The light-duty series, unlike the heavy-duty, received a suspension with coil springs and more powerful engines. The early years of production of the LC70 family were dominated by the good but weak 2.42 LT series turbodiesel. It initially offered 86 horsepower and later 90 horsepower. The engine turned out to be durable, but the heavy car, frame, rigid axles, drove sluggishly. The solution to the dynamics issue was the 3.0 KZ series. It found its way under the hood of a Land Cruiser 70 in May 1993, and a few months later went to a 4Runner/Hilux Surf. The LC70 with a 3-liter diesel engine had a top speed of 150 km per hour and accelerated to 100 km per hour in 16.6 seconds. Fuel consumption at a speed of 90 km per hour was 10.6 L/100 km. KZ 3.0/125 to 130 horsepower. The 3-liter diesel debuted as the 1KZ-T. The working volume of the 4-cylinder engine was 2,982 cubic centimeters, the cylinder diameter was 96 mm, and the piston stroke was 103 mm. Unlike the 2LT with a cast-iron cylinder head, the 1KZ engine head is made of aluminum. Both have a cast-iron block. All engines have a camshaft located in the cylinder head and driven by a timing belt. In addition, 2 balancing shafts were placed in the block. Each cylinder is served by 2 valves. The engine has distributed injection and turbocharging. The compression ratio is 22.1:1. The 1KZ-T used a fully mechanical fuel injection pump, while the 1KZ-TE used an electronically controlled one. Some variations have an intercooler installed. I have good news for you. Now, if you are planning to buy a used car, or learn more about your car, you no longer need to search for the information you need on the internet. We have collected everything in one place for you, on the website carme.pro. Here you can find out everything about the car, what breaks and at what mileage, any problems with engines, chassis or gearboxes, which trim levels are better not to mess with, and how not to lose money buying a used car. You will learn all this on carme.pro. In units of the 1KZ-T series, a typical problem was engine overheating and damage to the cylinder head. Cracks appeared. Characteristic symptoms are overheating and rough running of the engine. Theoretically, the head can be welded, but such a solution is short-term. The original head is destructive for the wallet. It is better to use a substitute from AMC. There are quite a lot of counterfeit Chinese-made parts on the market that are not trustworthy. KZ engines have many elements driven by gears. One of the mechanic's mistakes is removing the central gear without first fixing it. The gear falls apart because it consists of several parts. In a certain batch of engines, there was a problem with the balance shaft liners. KZTE is characterized by damage to the oil supply tube to the turbine, through which engine oil leaked. KD 2.5 to 3.0. The 1KD FTV series diesel debuted in 2000. The dimensions of the cylinders, the piston stroke, and, accordingly, the working volume remained the same. In 2001, the 2KD FTV with a volume of 2,494 cubic centimeters, known from the Hilux model, debuted. Many improvements have been introduced compared to the KZ. For example, common rail direct fuel injection operating at high pressure, initially 1350 bar, but then the pressure was gradually increased. The cylinder head became 16 valve, 4 valves per cylinder. The timing drive is implemented using a short belt and gears. Another feature is the variable geometry turbocharger, VNT. The 1KD FTV engine was consistently modernized. It initially developed 163 horsepower, and at the end of production, 190 horsepower. The commercial designation of KD is D4D. The common rail engine raised concerns about possible running costs. However, the new turbo diesel was improved, and the head made it possible not to worry too much about overheating. At the same time, another problem appeared that was expensive to fix: fuel injectors. In the period from 2005 to 2007, Toyota carried out a service campaign to replace injector sealing washers. The reason is the ingress of gases from the combustion chamber into the oil and vice versa. The oil either lost its properties or its level was significantly reduced, which, in turn, threatened to destroy the engine. The repair consisted not only of replacing faulty washers, but also cleaning the oil pan. Unfortunately, this is not the only problem with injectors. Injectors wear out and fail, which can cause serious engine damage. They start leaking fuel and the pistons melt or burst. Usually it goes to the fourth piston, from the gearbox side. Subsequently, the piston damages the cylinder walls. It is difficult to say how long the injectors last. Usually they can withstand 120 to 150,000 kilometers, but it happens that they do not reach 70,000 kilometers. The defect can be identified using computer diagnostics. With injection correction values of -2.5 and below, you should think about checking the injector on a bench. Even if the fault is detected in time, repairs will be expensive, since Denso injectors cannot be repaired. Neglect almost always results in the need to replace the motor. However, some people oversleeve the block. It is noteworthy that the Prado 120 can be equipped with a turbo diesel from the Prado 150, but this requires certain modifications. Another common failure that is much cheaper to fix is a leaking water pump. Depending on the KD modification, the pump is integrated into the block, it is necessary to remove the timing drive, or is bolted to the block, quick replacement. A big plus is the speed of replacing the timing belt. An experienced mechanic will need 20 minutes to do this. This diesel engine is also associated with premature wear of the power steering pump. The repair will be quite simple and cheap. Interesting fact. The related 2.5-liter engine in the Hilux does not have most of the described shortcomings. The need for a major overhaul of a Hilux diesel engine is rare, while in a Prado it is an almost everyday reality. GD 2.4 to 2.8. The diesel engine of the GD family debuted in 2015. It has two displacement options, 2.8 liters, 1 GD FTV, and 2.4 liters, 2 GD FTV. The main idea of the designers is hidden under the acronym ESTEC, which stands for Economy with Superior Thermal Efficient Combustion, Efficiency and Improved Thermal Efficiency of the Combustion Process. As the name suggests, the engine is focused on the efficient use of thermal energy from burned fuel. Therefore, to reduce heat losses, the cylinder walls are made of a special material that retains heat in the combustion chamber. The new units comply with the Euro 6 standard. Toyota was the first to use SCR nitrogen oxide and particulate combustion technology. The GD received a timing chain drive and a reduced compression ratio of 15.6 to 1. The mileage of cars with such an engine is still low, so it is too early to judge the reliability. Despite potential faults, 3-liter engines have a large group of fans who appreciate the 4-cylinder diesel's decent performance and moderate fuel consumption. Both KZ and KD series have disadvantages that can significantly empty the owner's wallet. However, the correct approach to operation can significantly reduce the risk of malfunctions. In general, the engines are reliable and not too problematic. Unfortunately, Toyota SUVs with turbo diesel engines are often overpriced.